The retail apocalypse just accelerated, and your favorite store might be next. This is the biggest wave of retail closures in history, and it's happening right now. Thousands of stores gone in months. This is the retail bloodbath no one's really talking about. And now there's fresh warnings out that these 10 massive retailers are about to vanish. And I think one of them will really surprise you. We'll cover those in a moment. But so far, over 120 million square feet of retail space permanently closed just the halfway through 2025 alone. And you think we're not even all the way through the year at the moment for this sort of number. In the first 6 months, 5,822 stores closed their doors for good. Last year, it was just 3,496 stores. That's an increase of over 66% in 1 year. And this even blows past the records during the lockdowns. Now, prior to the lockdowns, which completely destroyed the economy, in most economies, it ripped through retail space. Interestingly, prior to this, retail was growing. It wasn't shrinking, it was growing. So more specifically, let me give you some of these stores, and then we'll go into a lot more here. Advanced Auto Parts, 727 stores closing. Walgreens, hundreds of locations shutting down over the next 3 years, with closures already having started. Denny's, the very unhealthy food chain restaurant, about 100 restaurants closing. Macy's, 50 to 100 stores closing. Some of these will not surprise you. Claire's, around 700 stores closing after, isn't this the second time they filed for bankruptcy? Bargain Hunt, all 91 stores closed. Jo-Ann Fabrics, all 800 stores closed after liquidation. Party City, roughly 700 corporate-owned stores closed. At Home, which is a home goods store chain based in Texas, they've just filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as well. And it's interesting because even they started off saying they'd only close 26 stores. Then they changed their mind on 2 of them, and just this month they've added 6 more closures. So it's actually 30 as of the time of recording this video right now. Other big chains like Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond, JCPenney, have all been cutting down on their physical footprints to try to survive. And here's the one that might actually surprise you, because it surprised me. Rite Aid. Hundreds of stores closing or have already closed or restructured due to bankruptcy. How on earth a pharmacy can struggle in the most heavily prescribed medication country in the world is still baffling economists right now. So why is this happening then? Here's the question. Well, firstly, consumers are broke, flat broke. Inflation has eaten into disposable incomes, wages aren't keeping up, and the essentials like food, rent, and utilities are still sky high. Debt is crushing people, and student loan delinquencies just jumped from 8% in March to nearly 13% in June. Credit card balances, record highs, and with interest rates where they are, repayments are brutal for a lot of people. Now, I do understand that there is a flip to this. There is a flip to this argument, and that is that the economy is shrinking in some areas, but it's actually growing in others. And I know President Trump is very big on the tariff money which is flowing in. So I can't discredit that. I can't discount that, because there are positives that are against the negatives. But the bottom line is, when people cut back spending, retailers feel it instantly, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Second then, costs for retailers are still rising. Rents haven't dropped in a lot of areas. The price of upkeep is higher because of labour shortages and minimum wage hikes, and energy costs for big retail space is all eating into these very thin margins. Third then, debt and bankruptcy. A lot of these companies were already in bad shape before the lockdowns, and they really kept going because they had access to cheap debt. But now that interest rates are higher, repayments have ballooned, and it's really just washed out to sea all of the bad debt and some of the bad operating companies. So we're seeing these bankruptcies thick and fast now. Number 4, this is the shift to online shopping. It's accelerating. Now, it's mainly due to the fact that online shopping is cheaper. That's what most people would say. I mean, you've got cheap, easy sites like Temu, Shein, and even TikTok shops now, which they're really pulling the younger shoppers out of malls and into the cheapest, fastest online options. But I wouldn't say it's just this. You go to other countries around the world and the malls are booming, and I mean booming. So I don't 100% agree with this argument that it's all due to online shopping. You don't just hear this in the US, you hear it in Canada and the UK and a couple of other places as well. I just don't buy into that argument. However, I will go along with this a little further because Temu and Shein have absolutely gutted the mid-range apparel and home goods market with these they're ultra low prices direct from manufacturers or direct from factory, often Chinese manufacturers. So if you walk around local shopping areas now, you can actually see the effects of not just the online shopping, but a lot of other problems. You sometimes see more for lease signs than you do open stores. And this has a knock-on effect of surrounding businesses as well, because when a big store closes, the coffee shop next door gets hit as well. The restaurant down the street gets hit. They lose a lot of their foot traffic. And this is all coming at the same time as some pretty alarming financial indicators. Student loan debt is now $1.64 trillion. Serious delinquencies, that means 90 days or more overdue, they jumped from 8% to 13%. That's even higher than before the lockdowns. So we're seeing a lot of ripple effects here. And the job market isn't looking great either. You know, continuing unemployment claims are around just under 2 million at the moment. That is the highest in years. And again, I'm not saying this is a long-term trend. I'm just saying this is something we're seeing right now. Manufacturing is in contraction. The PMI is at 48 for July. Anything under 50 means shrinkage. So it means recessionary in terms of the PMI. But again, when I'm talking about these devastating job losses that we're seeing, you got to remember there's always increases in other areas, or there's often increases in other areas. But my question to you is, do you know how to spot the trends? Because if you want to do what I did, going from I was exchanging my time for money, and not a lot of money at that, in a job that doesn't really pay enough that you maybe don't like, whereas you want to have financial freedom, you want to have more time. Just earlier today, I was kayaking in the sea, for example, before making this video. Then you need to hear the next part of this, because I realized a long time ago that the average person is just one emergency away from serious financial stress. That was me. I was that person. Because most people only have one source of income. This is a big problem. Any economist will tell you that. If that job goes or your hours get cut, the whole house of cards can come down very quickly. And that's actually why I built my rapid cash flow program. It's a very simple step-by-step system to create new streams of income in weeks. Yes, I did just say in weeks. And if you've already got a business, then it could be days for you. So it's a system of practical, proven strategies that I still use today to grow my businesses. And I've taught this system to thousands of people. We have hundreds of testimonials that you can read from real people. Not just written, though, I mean videos as well. And right now, with layoffs, store closures, and uncertainty everywhere, it is essential that you consider this. I'm not saying do it, I'm saying at least consider it, because the people that thrive in this economy are the ones who build income streams that they control, not a single income stream that's controlled for them. So with the program, I'm running a 90% off coupon today for you to accompany this specific video. So if you've been waiting for the perfect opportunity, this is it, I would say. As always with the programs, there's limited availability, and it's only for a short time only for the discount coupon. So the link is in the description below. Check out the information page just to see if you think it's right for you or not, and you'll see how long there is left or how many coupons are left. So that link is below in the description or the pinned comment. Now, an interesting lesson is what actually happens when a store closes then, because the people working there lose their job. That's pretty obvious. People lose their job. They're not always transferred to other locations. So for a small shop, that might be, let's say, 5 employees. It could be 10 employees. For a big box store like Walmart's, Macy's, or At Home, it's often a lot. It's 50 to 150 people. Cashiers, sales reps, floor staff, stockroom workers, managers, security, etc. And we mentioned pharmacies like Rite Aid or CVS closures. These are especially damaging because they also employ licensed pharmacists and pharmacy techs who may not find comparable positions locally. Secondly then, and this is huge, it's the ripple effect of indirect job losses. Here's where the damage multiplies, because retail stores don't exist in a vacuum, let's use that term. Every single one is part of a supply and service chain. It's like an effective ecosystem, I think is the best way. Right? You have building and maintenance, plumbing contractors, stores need emergency repairs, restroom upkeep, preventative maintenance. Those contracts disappear overnight. Electrical would be another example. Lighting systems, display wiring, emergency exit, compliance. This all requires servicing as well. HVAC companies, climate control systems are expensive to run and maintain. These maintenance contracts would vanish. So there's all of these knock-on effects to these big stores. It could even cause some of the HVAC firms to go under as well, especially if some of them, 90% of their contract will be with one big store. What about your general handyman and repair crews? This is everything from fixing shelving to patching walls. It's all part of the regular upkeep. IT, tech, digital infrastructure, point of sales, security systems and monitoring. What about network and IT contractors? Cleaning would be another one, sanitation, janitors, pest control services, logistics, supply chain services, freight, delivery drivers, local warehousing, packaging. I mean, the list goes on and on here. What about, I'm still going here, waste management, recycling, waste collection, landscaping, professional services, that's your accountants, your attorneys, marketing, advertising agencies. It's all interconnected. So let's take an example. A big store with 50 people closes. You then have the contracts that vanish as well. 10 more people could lose work. Nearby businesses could fold. That could be another 20 to 30 jobs. So from that single closure, you might get 85 to 100 local job losses when you start to factor in both the direct and indirect effects. Now you multiply that across 15,000 closures nationwide, and you can see why this ripple effect is enormous and why we have to monitor it very closely. Retail closures also hit local government income in 2 ways as well. Number one would be the disappearance of the sales tax for that store or stores. Number 2, which is even more concerning, is property values, because now you're not getting the property taxes. What happens when you get less property taxes? The services of that city or that municipality become reduced. That means that they have to start cutting non-essential services. That means that they start to then eventually cut essential services, police force, healthcare. Sometimes it depends on the system, fire department. What happens then? Crime increases. It's a vicious circle with all of these things. And you've also got to remember something crucial as well at the moment, is that a lot of these job losses are being replaced by AI, especially in the junior positions at the moment. It will go to the mid-range positions later. But it's just like some of these dystopian movies that we used to watch, isn't it? But this is what's actually happening. You see, the AI, this will be this wave, and the future wave, we're still a long way off this yet, years off yet, but that will be your sort of humanoid robotics, robots that we're already starting to see do very basic things. So it's important to start looking and planning for this now. The future is changing. It's changing very quickly indeed. I would highly recommend you start looking at digital forms of income and streams. That is what I have. You look at everything I do. I have, more than 50 streams of income. So if I can build 50, I'm sure you can build 2 or 3 on the side. And with that said, all that's left here is check out the link in the description, see what you think, become a subscriber to the channel. I post videos like this on a regular basis. And God bless you, God bless your family, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you.